Have you ever started a project with excitement and enthusiasm, and only a few weeks later, you start dreading the idea of actually having to do that? Why is that? In a world with instant gratification, we have become less and less patient. And now, we all know anything that's worth value and reward does require a lot of patience. What we often don't always realize is that it also requires a lot of blind faith. Blind faith is not knowing exactly how things are going to end up when you become successful. It's just realizing that you need to take the steps in order to get there. Similar to this image of success that I'm sure you've seen all over the internet. My buddy Carlos, hola amigo, actually told me a story recently over the phone, story/analogy, which actually inspired me to create this video. He told me this story about Colombia and the crops and the farms there. You see, many years ago, the farmers would plant their seeds in their farms without knowing exactly what type of seed it was. So often they wouldn't know what would harvest, when it would harvest, and what it would be. Some plants would take a few months to harvest, some would take years, some would take 5 years, some massive trees would take 20 years. But the moral of the story, the lesson here, is that the farmer doesn't know exactly which plant is going to grow and how long it's going to take. And this is very similar to your goals. It's very similar to the tasks and challenges that you go forward with. And often, similar to that image of success going upwards, you have to rely on blind faith. Blind faith being the fact that you're going to go work day after day after day after day on a long-term project with lots of patience, and at the end of it, you're gonna have this blossoming crop, this harvest that's going to be the fruits of your labor. Yeah, pun intended. So, should those farmers stop growing crops? Should you stop following your goals without actually knowing how and when you're gonna get to where you wanna be? Should you stop taking risks? Well, maybe. You see, there are risks and then there are calculated risks. And calculated risks means that you are relying on experience, on minimizing risks because you're aware of the shortcomings, of the challenges ahead of you. You understand your own weaknesses, and you're beginning to realize your potential and the true potential for the outcome of this challenge. And by actually assessing all of those things, you're going to be taking more of a calculated risk with blind faith and patience rather than just going in blindly. You see, blind faith doesn't work if you make excuses, you play the victim. It doesn't work if you play the victim, you make excuses, you blame other people, you have a million reasons why you can't get your goal done or you can't, make it happen. And here is the kicker. You will not see immediate results. Repeat, anything worth value, you will not see immediate results. That's why anything worth value is pretty hard to achieve. If it was easy, then everyone would be achieving all of their goals all the time. But that shouldn't stop you from watering plants. Sure, you'll have bumps in the road, you won't always win the battle, but you will take the steps to win the war. I think that's enough analogies for today. You need blind faith to slowly improve over time. When I did my first video 4 months ago, it was actually pretty shitty. So over time, you learn the lessons and you put the pieces in place to get better over time. And what you don't know, you don't know. So you actually cannot be amazing at whatever you do right off the bat. The tough part of any new opportunity is the lack of knowledge and the challenges that await you when you're embarking upon a new task. And that scares the shit out of people. So just don't be scared. Just don't. I know it's easy to say, but just don't be scared. Okay, be a little scared. That's probably a good sign that you care. Blind faith only works when you realize something is working or not, and then you pivot to make sure that you are correcting your course so that you're going towards your goal. Otherwise, you're never really going to succeed. You're just going to be blind. My name is Riaz, Sidi. Thank you so much for watching. Stay positive once more, and I'll see you next week.